Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I am here today to share a project with you. A couple videos ago, I want to say it was probably about a week ago, I mentioned wanting to have something to document, like stories of my parents. As many of you know, I lost my dad almost 2 years ago, and it's been really important to me to start documenting some of the stories of my childhood, even though I don't have photos to support those stories. I'm sure my mom has a lot of photos, but I just don't have them personally here. So until I do have them, I thought it'd be nice to kind of start a memory keeping project without photos, though I could add some photos in here if I wanted. So in my comments on a couple of my video or one of my videos, there were some ideas that were thrown around, and I decided to go ahead and use my Smash Book. I have this K & Company Smash Book, and I've had this for quite some time. I got it at, I think it was TJ Maxx for just a few dollars. It was on like clearance at TJ Maxx. Now it is a wedding one, but I'll show you what I'm going to do to kind of offset some of the pages that are really wedding themed. So I'm going to share it with you. Now this is not something that I'm going to be doing process videos for, just because I don't really work on it all at once. Excuse me. It's really something that I just kind of work on little by little as I think of things, so it'd be really difficult to do process videos. But if you would like, and leave a comment below so I'll know, if you would like, I'll share it with you periodically so you can kind of see my progress. So starting with the title page, and I've done slight embellishments and alterations just kind of as I felt like I wanted to, I guess. And so this one says I think it said the greatest love story ever told. And so I actually changed it to the greatest memories ever told. And then I added some washi at the top, and then I put down here a family history book, because this is all about the stories of my parents, which of course is going to include stories of our childhood, or my childhood, and then also as I've gotten older. So this is really going to be a story about my side of the family, but from when my parents met to now. So there's going to be quite a range of memories in here. So the first thing I did was create a family history, and this is my maiden name, Wagstaff. And this is definitely a work in progress because I need to verify birthdays. And this child is not born yet. He'll be planned to be born February 22nd because it's a planned delivery. So I don't know his name yet. So, but I've put most of it in here, and what it's going to be is I just punched blue out for the boys, blue and kind of teal, and then pink out for the girls. So I've got my parents here. They had my older sister Wanda, myself Melody, and then my younger sister Jill. And then we each got married, so you can see our spouses, and then we each have children. And so once I get confirmation on, and I don't remember, I think it's March 29th, but I want to just confirm that that's the right day that my dad died. And I know the month and year, but I just want to confirm the day on the rest of the boys' birthdays. And then I need to put the marriage dates. So I just use my label maker, but I just drew lines here. But I punched the circles out to designate the people, and then I put the birthday, or their name, the birthday, and then I'll put the marriage date on here as well. And then I put down here, an always growing family is kind of my little message down here, and I just used some washi tape. So everything that I'm using to embellish is very flat, not dimensional, because this is not something that can expand. So I want to make sure that this is still a nice working order book, and these things can always be changed and added to. More children can be added, though there won't be any more added here, at least not planned. But there'll be, more children can be added. And then there's no real rhyme or reason to what pages I picked. I just picked different pages for different things. And then something like this is very wedding themed, but what I'm thinking about doing is getting my mom to write my parents like how we met story here, because they ended up getting married just at the Justice of the Peace. So I thought that'd be really nice to have her write that in her handwriting here. Actually, that was Ernest's suggestion, so I'll give him credit for that. But I thought it'd be really nice to have that. Otherwise, I would probably just cover this up. And then I added a couple journaling cards where I just took the journaling card and wrote the story on it, and then just adhered it with washi tape. So like this is dated. Any of the stories that I'm putting in here, I'm going to date them. Oh, there's my dad's birthday. I mean, date of death. I should go ahead and print that label, but anyways, sidetracked. So this is an Ellie Edwards story card, and so it just says overheard, and I put the story, the date that I wrote the story, so I would know, because this talks about how Kaylin remembers my dad. So it says, Kaylin knows Granddaddy's in heaven with God, but he also remembers the last time he saw him, which was at his funeral. So in his mind, Granddaddy is at church with God. Today, when driving past a random church in town, he told me, Mama, that's a church. That's where Granddaddy is. So I put this story, put the date. And then this, I actually wrote this a really long time ago, like right as soon as we got back into town from, my dad's funeral. I wrote these things, some things that I wanted to remember from his funeral, so I just went ahead and decorated the rest of the page. I put, Daddy and Roger, because his name was Roger, and then I just kind of decorated with a couple of things. It says remember, and I put his date of birth and his date of death. And then I did this page. Yeah, I did one more page. Okay, so I did this page, and this one had a bunch of calendars on it, so I thought it'd be really nice to include. And I could do this for each family member, but we're going to run out of calendars, so I just did my parents. I included the day that they were born, and I actually went back on the calendar to find out which day of the week it was, because I thought, that's random, but it'd be kind of nice to know that. And then I'm going to put the town that they were born in. And I can't remember. I'm waiting on my mom to get back to me. I can't remember what town my mom was born in. I think it was in Kentucky, and I want to say it was, I may be totally off. Yeah, I'm not even going to say because I'm sure that's wrong. But she was born on an army base in Kentucky, I believe. So I'm going to put that here, but I don't know exactly where. So I don't have it there. But, excuse me. But I thought that's just a nice little tidbit to put. Like my mom was born on a Sunday. And my dad was born on a Thursday. Just kind of cool. And that's going to be the type of things that I include in here. And it's just going to be kind of as I think of things, as my sisters. I've told both of my sisters to start kind of writing stories and documenting them so I can include them in here. If they give me stories, I'll put what perspective, like who wrote it, so so we'll understand whose perspective it came from, because there could be different perspectives. And like I said, a lot of these are love themed because this is a wedding one, but I really don't mind. I can either use journaling cards to cover it up or go along with it and tell some sort of love story that's related to my family. But then there's a lot of very basic pages like this. There's a lot of very basic pages like this where it's just a black and cream polka dot. I really like this Smash book. I've always loved them, but I didn't know what to do with them, so I think this is a really nice way to use it. And be able to kind of keep things preserved, because you can't add a ton, or it's going to make the Smash book very bulky and not be able to close properly. So I'm kind of keeping the embellishments at a minimum. So here's the last page that I did, and it just kind of documents the way we used to celebrate snow days when we were kids. So it's sometime in the 90s, and it probably happened multiple years in the 90s. But all it says is we didn't have a ton of snow days as kids because North Carolina just doesn't get that much snow. But when we did, and it was enough to actually do something with, Daddy always pulled out the sled to play with us. We had this cool sled that had a seat, skis, and a steering wheel. This thing could fly down the hill beside the house by Mama and Daddy's bedroom porch. One year, Daddy even made us an ice fort because we got so much snow. I'm not sure how, but he had blocks of ice he built up walls with. It was perfect base for a snowball fight. Those are the type of stories. And I had actually forgotten about that until we had the snow here last week, and my older sister was telling me that she was telling her son Walter about it. He wanted to build a snow fort then. But there was like 2 inches of snow, so it wasn't that much. But so that's everything that I have in here, and I have plenty of pages more to fill out. But what I've done is in my planner I put about 6 or 7 Project Life cards, journaling cards at the front of my planner. So if I'm at work or something and I happen to think of a story, or if one of my sisters calls me and thinks of a story, I can just go ahead and document it down. And I could stick that on this page right here, just whatever, covering up that chandelier. It doesn't have to be written directly on the page. And I plan to mix up how I celebrate. I mean, not celebrate. I said celebrate because I'm looking at this ring. Mixing up how I document. So I hope that gives you guys some ideas of a way to document something that you may not have any pictures of, but just stories that you have in your head that you want to get down. These are extremely important to me. This is for, and I told my sisters, this is for my son just as much as it is for their children, because when I was a kid, we used to always go to my grandmother's house, and she had all these photo albums. I'm just going to keep flipping so you can kind of see the pages. She had all these photo albums, and it was my favorite thing to be able to go through her photo albums and just look at the pictures. Now, there weren't any stories in there, but that would have made it even better to have those stories to read to go along with it, because we didn't know who half these people were in these pictures, but it was fun to look at them, you know, to look at the way our grandmother used to dress when she was, you know, a young woman had just gotten married. My grandfather, my mom's dad, passed away when she was, I think, 12, so obviously I never knew him, but it was really cool to like see the pictures of him and, you know, things like that. So I think this will be really cool for our children in the future. You know, if I can get my mom to write down her story of how she got married and how she met my dad, how cool would that be for Kaylin to read that whenever he meets his wife and they get married, for him to be able to read how his grandmother met her, you know, the love of her life, my dad. But anyway, so that's kind of what I've got going on. I just thought it'd be nice to share this. And if you guys would like to see this periodically as I add more, I will be happy to share it with you. I'm just not going to be doing process videos for it. So let me know in the comment section if you are interested in seeing this periodically. And I appreciate you guys joining me today. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye.